Big East quarterfinals. UConn, number 9 seed. Pittsburgh, the top seed in the tournament. Second half, UConn down 7. Kemba Walker gets fouled, reverses it, and hits. How did he get that to go? Look at that. UConn down 47-43. There were 24 points in the game for Walker. Less than 9 minutes to go. UConn down 1. Alex Oriaki misses, but persistence pays. 13.7 rebounds for him. UConn up 1. Less than 5 minutes to go. Tie game. Walker drives and misses, gets his own rebound. How does he get so many rebounds for such a little guy? Gets that to go. UConn up 69-67. Just over a minute to go. Connecticut up 1. Walker didn't shoot it well from the outside for most of the game. Misses there, but Oriaki is there to clean it up. UConn up 74-71. Next possession for Pittsburgh, under a minute to go. Ashton Gibbs did shoot it well from the outside. 6 of 7 on threes for him. He ties it at 74. Gibbs with a career high, 27 points. Larry Fitzgerald's there. He's a Pittsburgh guy. He loves it. Next UConn possession, Pittsburgh in man-to-man. Walker comes off the pick. 6'11", 250-pound Gary McGee comes out to help. 6'4" guard Brad Wanamaker fights through the pick to switch back to guard Walker, and Walker takes Wanamaker one-on-one. Eventually gets a shot off, but he misses. Jamal Coombs-McDaniel with the rebound and a timeout. So UConn able to maintain possession. They'll take one last shot. Dave Pasch will tell you all about it on ESPN.
Guarded by Wanamaker with 10 seconds to go. Coombs-McDaniel on the screen. Walker with 7.
Got a mismatch.
Walker on McGee with 4. Kemba Walker. Step back. Walker. Cardiac Kemba does it again. UConn wins at the buzzer.
Everybody in the world knew that that ball was coming to me. I wanted to take that shot, and I called it out in the huddle. I said I knew McGee was going to switch, so I knew if I had him, it was going to be time to go, and that's what it was. And I was able to break him down and get a clean look at the basket.
Yeah, literally break him down. Now, Jim Calhoun said Walker had 2 options. He could either go to the bucket or he could kick it to Coombs-McDaniel for a jump shot, depending on what happened. And Calhoun said as soon as Walker made that hard dribble with McGee on him, he knew Walker was going to the basket. The crossover move, the step back, and he nails it. And Connecticut wins it 76-74. Not the first time trying to the ACC tournament in Greensboro. When Miami played Virginia in the regular season, Miami won in overtime. Under a minute to play, Miami down 10. Durant Scott for 3. They're down 7. Virginia missed 2 free throws. Malcolm Grant with a 3 26 seconds ago. Miami down 4. They missed 17 of their first 19 shots in the second half. They got hot when it counted. Virginia with the turnover. Sammy Zaglinski loses out of bounds. Miami down 4 now. Julian Gamble. Big dunk. Miami's down 2. Gamble had 11 points. After a timeout, 15 seconds to go, Scott steals the inbound pass, finishes with the bucket and the foul. Miami ties it up at 53. They scored 12 points in the first 19 minutes of the second half and then scored 10 in the final minute of the second half. Now Scott at the line. Misses the free throw. Zaglinski gets the rebound for Virginia, but he loses it out of bounds. Miami has a chance to win the game now.
Stop it.
And the Virginia fans are like, how did we fall apart like this? Ensuing Miami possession, 7 seconds to go. Grant tries to go for the 3, loses the ball out of bounds. Virginia gets the ball, calls timeout. So now Virginia with a chance to win. 1.3 to go. Gamble steals the ball, launches the 3-pointer and misses. So 10-0 run. ESPN analyst Jay Williams. All right, so let's see if they can get it done. Miami up 1. Grant kicks it out to Garius Adams. Good idea, because he's knocking down a triple. 10 for Adams. Miami up 4. Later in overtime, Canes up 4. Grant passes inside to Reggie Johnson. Grant had 16 points, and Miami somehow wins it in overtime 69-62. They get North Carolina next.
Garden this season, only loss against Syracuse. New York Daily News thanks refs. The refs didn't cost Rutgers the game. They cost them a chance to win the game. That was one of the gentlemen involved in the call that didn't go down. Chris Joseph, ahead to Justin Brownlee. Joseph didn't get the dunk to go down. Brownlee back the other way, turned it over. Joseph got it right this time, and well, had he made it that first time, he probably would have been a guaranteed top 10 play. He didn't. So it's not. Just over 4 minutes to play. St. John's down a point. Paris Horn misses the 3. Justin Burrell, league's top 6th man, rebound. He's fouled hard. St. John's going to take the lead on free throws. They're laughing. A little aerobic exercise in there. Rick Jackson going to finish here. He was your league defensive player of the year, but Syracuse takes the lead. And then Brandon Trish, a season-high 22. And Fab Mello, he has not been Fab, but the freshman, a career-high 12 points. Syracuse, 79-73.
Cincinnati and Notre Dame now. Big East quarterfinals. Former Cincinnati and current Notre Dame football coach Brian Kelly checking it out with Regis Philbin. Ben Hansbrough to Tim Abromaitis. They've both been fantastic for Notre Dame this season. Abromaitis 17, Notre Dame up 10. Later in the half, Hansbrough to Carlton Scott. Scott had 18 points, Irish up 10 at halftime. Now, Mike Bray said he took his team to see the play Jersey Boys, Neil, because they have such great teamwork in that play, and he wanted his team to see what teamwork was all about. Now, check out Hansbrough. Never stands still. Cuts and makes a nice move to get free for the layup, and Notre Dame up 12. And then later in the half, Hansbrough, again, moving without the ball. Game high 23 points for him, and Notre Dame wins big, 89-51. Kansas beat Oklahoma State by 27 last month. Their meeting in Kansas City Thursday wasn't nearly as one-sided. Jean-Paul Olakemi gets a steal. The big finish. He's got some words for Tyshawn Taylor, gets a technical foul, and Bob Knight's got some words for him.
This is one of the things that you're going to see that you just hate. The kid makes a great play twice at the bucket and taking it away. And then that kind of garbage has no place in college basketball whatsoever.
Oklahoma State led by 6 at the half. Cowboys looking for the upset. Just over a minute left, game tied at 60. Mario Little, layup in the foul. Kansas up 3 and asserting control. Less than 10 seconds to play. Oklahoma State still in it, down 1, but Olakemi, not this time. Kansas survived 63-62, 16 points, 11 rebounds for Big 12 Player of the Year, Marcus Morris.
There's that kid in the movie who saw dead people. Jacob Poland in Kansas State, see Colorado. First half, Buffs down 5. Andre Robertson. He just Facebooked Poland. He had a double-double there. Colorado still down 2. Let's go second half. We're tied. Corey Higgins, 19 of his 28 came in the second half. Kansas State down 3, under 2 minutes to play. Poland forces the turnover. Will Sparadling picks it up, and Tad Boyle, the former Northern Colorado coach, they were, of course, the big story the night before. He wanted a foul. This team's still up 1. His team closes on a 14-3 run in a series that began in 1933. The Buffs beat Kansas State 3 times in conference. UCLA beat Oregon twice during the regular season. UCLA down 9 in the first half. Bruins, they're down 9 and they're playing with 6 men. How can you be down 9 and be playing with 6 men? And Reeves Nelson realizes it, so he goes behind Coach Allman. Look at Coach. Hey, they had 6 guys on there.
That's one way to come back from down 9.
Technical foul on UCLA. How about Garrett Sim right before half? He had 10, no bigger than that. Take another look.
The Ducks flying high.
Return of the Quack up 14 at the half. But you figured UCLA would come back. They never dented the double-digit lead. Malcolm Armstead the steal. E.J. Singler, career-high 24. Oregon advances 76-59. Last time the Ducks reached the semis, they won the tournament. Oregon getting it either Washington or Washington State. There's Klay Thompson. He had served a little suspension for Wazoo. He's back, and I mean, he was back in a big way. He was 8 of 14 from 3. He was 15 of 29 from the field. 20 seconds left to play. Cougs down 3. They were up big at half. Thompson, a Pac-10 tournament record, 43 points. It would not be enough. Isaiah Thomas, the lay in there, and Lorenzo Romar's club goes on to win 89-87. All right, we got 2-seed UCLA out. What about top seed Arizona? They had Oregon State to deal with, and, well, that's Derek Williams there. Arizona's lost its last 3 Pac-10 tournament games, and Williams will be shooting the 3 later, but first it's Lamont Jones, and this Lamont was no big dummy.
Very nice.
The 3 there. Lute Olson, by the way, was in attendance at this. And here comes Williams, the Pac-10 Player of the Year. He was 5 of 6 from 3. Arizona up 10. All right, we get a second, 10.5 minutes to play. It's a 9-point game, and Kevin Parham gets dropped by Joe Burton. Joe Burton's going to get ejected for that. There's no spot for that in any game, no matter what had gone on before or after or during. Williams. 22 points, 78-69, Arizona, the top seed Cats. Going to get the only home team left in the tournament. That'd be USC in Friday's semis.
Big Ten, Michigan State's been to the last 2 Final Fours, but the Spartans may need an extended run of the Big Ten tournament to get in this year. They met Iowa in the first round. Draymond Green turns it over. Eric Mace says, I'll make the finish. Bucket and the foul. Green did plenty, though, 21 points and 14 rebounds. Darrell Summers did, too, knocks down the 3. Spartans just 4 of 14 on threes. Summers had only 9 points, but every one of them was big. He gets the steal there. Spartans would hit 2 free throws, compliment to Summers. The Spartans up 3, and then Matt Gatens with the Hawkeyes with a chance to tie. Can't get it to go, and Michigan State hangs on 66-61. They get Purdue.
BYU and Jimmer Fredette against TCU. TCU, one win in the conference, but they did win their play-in game in the tournament. The plyometric shoes working. Fredette, 15 points in the first half, but BYU was down 1. This would be an upset of monumental proportions. Fredette misses the 3. Noah Hartsock, the rebound and the foul. BYU up 4, still up 4. We've got 4+ to play. Fredette misses the 3. Charles Abuo grabs the rebound, lays it in. He had 14 points, 8 boards, and now Abuo, he's going to miss the 3. Hartsock, the rebound, out to Fredette. He was 7 of 21, finished with 24. BYU 64-58. They have 3 losses. New Mexico handed 2 of them. That's who they got next. New Mexico Mountain West semis. Cougars have lost 3 games all season, 2 to New Mexico. Jimmer Fredette averaging 32.5 against the Lobos. Step back 3 right there. He got BYU's first 10 points. Deep 3, yeah, he got it. Fredette 7 of 14 from 3 in this game. Drives the middle, step back jumper. That's his 28th point of the first half. Nation's leading scorer averages 28. How about a crossover and a 3? That's 31. How about a driving lay-in? 33 points in the first half. Fredette made all of BYU's first half threes. 5. They're up 5. But up just 1 in the second half. Fredette went about 7 minutes before his first bucket. This isn't it. This is another one. He's got 42 now. How about 47, matching his season high, and he's just 2 points shy of breaking Danny Ainge's BYU all-time scoring record. He came in needing 49 points to pass it. Contact and the foul, and Fredette becomes BYU's all-time leading scorer. How about a personal best? We're just going to set records. First ever 50-point game for Fredette. You know what? If some is good, more is better. Drive, bucket, 52 points. Fredette sets BYU's single-game scoring record and becomes the school's career scoring leader. It's in Madison Square Garden, most famous of recent matchups, Syracuse and Connecticut. Last time they met, they almost never stopped playing, 6 overtimes. Kemba Walker was in that one. Oh, he was in this one, too. Fadeaway jumper, Huskies up 3. Under 3 minutes left, they're up 2 now. Scoop Jardine, floater. Jeremy Lamb tips it away. Walker the other way. On the other end, Lamb hits the 3. Now, Jim Boeheim, hey, how about a goaltend down there? Take another look. Okay, well, no goaltending called. 5-point swing. UConn up 5. Under 30 seconds to go. Syracuse down 6. Jardine banks it in. I called glass. Okay, it was a 3-point game with 19 seconds left. Now it's down to 15 seconds. And Shabazz Napier, 77%, misses the front end of a 1-on-1. 10 seconds left. Syracuse down 3. We're on the foul. No foul now. Jardine, tied game. Are you kidding me? We're going to overtime again.
Of course they are.
Walker said when they went to that first overtime, he thought about the 6th, and he says, man, I don't want to do that again. So he found Lamb right there. UConn up 2. And it worked so well, let's do it again. Walker, Lamb, floater. I mean, how good is this freshman Lamb? It's hard to believe this kid's a freshman. Huskies up 3 with 25 seconds left. Take another look at that. I mean, that's sweet. And then about 20 seconds left. 3-point game. Jardine going to miss the 3. Walker going to come up with the rebound. Former President Clinton was talking to Walker after the game. That's how high he was on him. He had 12 rebounds.
Who've never played in the championship game. They joined the conference in 1996. What did you say about President Clinton?
Yeah, there he was. Yeah, there he was.
See? Neil doesn't lie. Under 2 minutes left. Tie game, second half. Preston Knowles got his 4th foul with about 10 minutes to play, but he didn't stop hustling. Look at him knock that one in. Moments later, game tied at 70. It's Knowles again. He had 20 points. Cardinals back up 2. Ensuing Notre Dame possession, no timeouts. Irish struggling to get the ball across the half court. Scott Martin to Carlton Scott. Hey, that'll work. And now the game is tied. Final seconds of regulation after Louisville missed. Irish with a chance to win. Big East Player of the Year, Ben Hansbrough, 3 for 16. He had 13 points and also 6 turnovers. So they went to overtime. That makes 6 of their last 10 meetings overtime games. Knowles drives and misses, but Terrence Jennings, right place, right time for the putback, and Louisville up 3 now. Under a minute left, Irish down 3. Hansbrough, no, sir. Ball goes out of bounds, off Notre Dame. Louisville wins at 83-77, and they'll take on UConn for the Big East title. Remember last year they needed Evan Turner's big shot to beat Michigan when they opened the Big Ten tournament? Well, they had all they wanted from Northwestern in this one. Michael Thompson finds Alex Marco Tullio as the shot clock goes off. Ball seems to still be in Marco Tullio's hands as the clock hits 0, but the basket still counts. Northwestern goes up 1. 5 seconds left in the game, tied at 52. J.J. Sullinger can't get it to go. So overtime. You may have heard Northwestern never been to the NCAA tournament. Getting physical with Sullinger. He had 10 out of 10 from the free throw line in overtime, 16 of 18 from the free throw line in the game. He finished with 20 points and 18 rebounds. Had just 2 buckets in the game, though. John Diebler had just 1 3 in the game, and that was it. That was also Ohio State's only points in overtime from the floor. They got 12 of their 15 points at the line in overtime. They hold on to win it 67-61.
Well, the reigning champs grab one of the 4-1 seeds, Duke and Maryland, ACC quarters. Duke still without Kyrie Irving. He worked out in the pregame. He's got the big toe injury since early December. Second half, Duke up 1. Nolan Smith, Conference Player of the Year. That's the good news for him. Bad news going to come here shortly. Kyle Singler, boy, Medford, Oregon was in the house. His brother EJ couldn't get it done for Oregon right across the street, but Singler went for 29, had 9 rebounds. All right, here's Smith, who had a tough night shooting, turning it over, and now he is on the ground in pain. His foot is stepped on by Cliff Tucker, and he jammed a toe on his left foot, did not return. Coach K said he is questionable to play in the rest of this tournament if Duke wins. And Duke's going to win in large part because they're going to hold Maryland without a field goal for 6 minutes and win it 87-71. Seth Curry. Oh, yeah, Apple Tree. You know the deal. Duke advances. They're going to play the winner of Florida State, Virginia Tech, and wait till you see how that game ended.
Kansas also gunning for number 1 seed, number 2 team in the country. Jayhawks taking on Colorado in the Big 12 semifinals. Opening seconds of the game. Elijah Johnson misses a 3. Bob Knight didn't like the play selection. Coach?
My instructions would have been, if the only shot that you have available in the first possession is a 3, I want you to kick it up in the stands.
Hey, the Morris brothers combined for 17 straight Kansas points during a 17-4 run. This is Marcus Morris. Layup in the foul, and then Marcus again showing some range. He finished with 20 points and 13 rebounds. What about his brother, Markeith? Look at the big man knock down the 3. Kansas up 1. And then Brady Morningstar chases down the loose ball. And Markeith puts it down. He finished with 20 points as well. Colorado will keep it close. So 4 minutes to play. Down 12. Levi Knutson for 3. Colorado just down 8. Kansas gets the 3 from Tyrell Reed. Kansas goes on to win at 90-83. They've beaten Colorado 45 times in their last 46 meetings. Can make a case for number 1 seed if they win the ACC tournament. Tar Heels facing Miami in the ACC quarterfinals. Tyler Zeller gets stripped, and then John Henson with another turnover. Carolina having problems. Takes out all the starters, plays the walk-ons. Carolina 14 turnovers and just 2 buckets in the last 9:15 of the first half. So let's go second half. Less than 7 minutes of the game. Carolina down 13. Kendall Marshall. That'll help. Marshall's first points of the game. Carolina down 10. They trail by as many as 19. Marshall's 3 there cuts it to 7. And then Harrison Barnes, he had 18 points. Carolina rallies, but they're still down 4. Remember, Miami made that great comeback against Virginia on Thursday. So Marshall to Tyler Zeller, game tied at 59. After a Miami turnover, less than 5 seconds to go. Marshall drives, dishes it to Zeller. As time expires, it's Carolina's biggest comeback win in 5 years as they rally back from 19 down They win at 61-59. Roy Williams said, we feel as lucky.
Basically a play-in game, the tournament field. Alabama was down 14 with 7 minutes left. Here they come, though. Travis Relaford ties it with about 4 seconds left. Ensuing Georgia possession. Dustin Ware, his friends, they call him Mr. Glass. Game winner! Oh, wait. The Georgia coach, Mark Fox, had called a timeout. Check out the spot shadow. Coach calls the timeout. Ware shoots. Bucket is waved off. Now they got 0.8 seconds left. What play you got?
Bucket.
No. This game's going to go to overtime, and in overtime it was, Alabama. Tony Mitchell, the three. Alabama going to win at 65-59. Take a look at the resumes, and these are both good-looking resumes.
Game on Friday, Lafayette taking on Bucknell in the Patriot League final. First half, Bucknell up 2. Bryson Johnson misses a 3. Cameron Ayers eventually gets the offensive rebound, passes it to Mike Muscala, and Muscala knows what to do with it. He's MVP of the tournament. Bucknell up 4. Second half, Bucknell up 8. Darryl Shazer to Ayers for 3. Bucknell up 11 and pulling away. Johnson, he faked the pass and gets the layup himself. Bucknell goes on to win at 72-57. Let's storm the court. Bryson. Pick the Patriot League. They're going to the NCAA tournament.
One more shot at BYU, only if the Aztecs beat UNLV. Rebels with the home court advantage. 10 seconds left. We are tied. DJ Gay in the paint. Hits the jumper. San Diego State up 2. UNLV's got no timeouts. Trevon Willis going to push it up court. 3 for the win. No. San Diego State going to advance to the finals, take on Jimmer Fredette and BYU in your Mountain West Finals. So that's the subplot to the story that is USC and Arizona in the Pac-10 tourney semis. Bob Cantu taking over for O'Neal. Marcus Simmons, he had 20, keeping the Trojans in it in the first half. Final seconds of the half, Kevin Parham picking it up. Derek Williams throwing it down. Arizona up 5 at the half, and Solomon Hill knows where his bread's buttered. It's the Pac-10 Player of the Year, Williams, 20 points, 6 rebounds. Arizona 67-62. They've won 12 of their last 14. Washington and Oregon. Huskies, the defending champion. That's Isaiah Thomas, godson of, yes, Isaiah Thomas. Thomas to Terrence Ross, alley-oop jam. Washington putting on some defense on Dana Altman's Ducks in this one. Oregon, 3 seconds left on the shot clock. Jonathan Lloyd. No. Oregon. Darnell Grant. Oh, he's blocked. 9 for 26 in the first half. Still down just 9 second half. Thomas, Justin Holiday. That hurts. And then Thomas, bounce pass to Holiday. And give me +1 on that. Take another look. Washington up 2 touchdowns. Hey, Oregon did win in football. And then Thomas, deep 3. He had 10 points, 12 assists. Lorenzo Romar's club, 69-51. Gets Duke. Joe Lenardi says Va-Tech, one of the last 4 in teams. 12 seconds to go. They are down 1. Malcolm Delaney, Eric Green. Go ahead bucket. Virginia Tech up 1. About 5 seconds left. Florida State down a point. Derwin Kitchen. I got it. Florida State wins it. But hold on. Did he get it off in time, Coach? Refs are going to review it. Let's see what they saw. Check above the basket. When it goes red, if that ball ain't out of his hands, he's in trouble. Clock went 0. That ball is still touching his hands. And that's it. They waved the basket off. Coach, thank you. Virginia Tech wins by 1. And the AC semifinal.
NCAA tournament the last 3 years. They've won or shared the regular season Atlantic 10 title each of the last 5 years, but they haven't won the A-10 tournament since 2006. Paul Williams for 3, and Dayton up on Xavier 21-3. Let's go second half now. Tu Holloway is the man for Xavier. Xavier with his first lead up 1. That was with less than 30 seconds to go. 5.8 seconds to go now. Luke Fabricius at the line makes 1 and makes the second one. Fabricius smelling good. He had 10 points off the bench. 5.8 to go. Xavier down 1. Holloway. No. And Xavier will not win the Atlantic 10 tournament again this year.
Back to the Big Ten. Michigan State has reached the Final Four the last 2 seasons, trying to just make sure they make the tournament this year. Beating Purdue would help greatly, but Kalen Lucas, questionable, because you remember Thursday's quarterfinal win over Iowa, he rolled the ankle. Diagnosis of sprain, so didn't even know if he'd be able to go. Oh, he went. I mean, he went off. Bank open for Lucas. Beats the shot clock there. Call me Little Wing right there. How about just a straightaway 3? And then drive, hang, get the bucket, +1 right here. Career high, 30 points for Kalen Lucas. Michigan State beats Purdue 74-56. Advances to the Big Ten semis.
Penn State taking on Wisconsin. Points hard to come by for each team. If you like offensive basketball, you might want to go get a drink of water right now. Wisconsin's Ryan Evans misses a layup. Ryan Bruzewicz misses a layup. Tim Frazier for Penn State he just kind of threw the ball away. Wisconsin's Keaton Nankerville, jumper off the front of the rim. 36 points combined in the first half. Penn State led by 4 at the half. Jimmer Fredette would have beat both of them by himself. 2:27 to go. Penn State up 32-30. Taylor Battle, he had a team-high 9 points. Penn State up 35-30. Just over a minute to play. Jordan Taylor to Nankerville, a 3-pointer. And that's like an 8-pointer in this game. Wisconsin down 35-33. And then Taylor misses the 3. Penn State wins it 36-33. Lowest scoring game in Big Ten tournament history. Texas got there. They were 2-0 against Texas A&M this season. And, I guess you already know it's 3-0 now. Off the Texas turnover, Chris Middleton with the big dunk. A&M up 1. Tristan Thompson. Later in the second half, Texas down 2. Thompson, long and strong, game tied at 36. Jay Lucas misses. Thompson gets the rebound. And then look how much ground he covered to get there for the dunk. He had 10 offensive rebounds. And then another offensive rebound here, and just so you know, he can do more than dunk. Little jump shot there, 14 points, 13 total rebounds. Jordan Hamilton, 17 points for him. Horns, hook 'em. Bring on the Jayhawks.